gon' tune in cause it's showtime. Go ahead and call the gang up for the one time. Rap food rhyme, got them on the line. And my life's still great, I'm doing just fine. Hands up.
Yo, but we got some gaming news. I saved this for last because the last time we started with the gaming news first, we barely had time for the rest of the stuff. So as you see,
Understandable.
we flipped it and reversed it and talked about everything else first. So when we hop into this gaming news, this is the last thing.
Mm-hmm.
I got a couple things to talk about. Mortal Kombat 1 release. The full release was September 19th, so we're going to talk about that a little bit. We're going to talk about the news that Microsoft is considering not putting in exclusives on PS5, and it came out that they want some Nintendo games on their consoles. Nintendo had another Nintendo Direct. PlayStation had another State of Play. And then the first day of the Tokyo Game Show 2023 happened. So we're going to touch on that a little bit. So let's rewind and let's get into this Mortal Kombat 1 release. This is just going to be initial thoughts. We're going to do a full mod review with the whole game a little bit later. But what are you guys' initial thoughts on Mortal Kombat 1?
Feels good. I need to play the campaign. Once I touch a few controllers, Tanya, I'm not too mad at y'all about Jade anymore. I think. I played a few rounds of Tanya just on some general PC combat, and I was like, she feels familiar. She feels okay. I kind of like her. Y'all could have made her pretty, but I ain't. Y'all did our queen dirty.
Actually, she looks better in the campaign. Once you see her in the campaign, I think they fixed her model because she doesn't look the way that she did in that trailer.
Okay, I'll hold out, but I think she might be my main. I like Smoke too.
Smoke is cold.
Smoke felt good.
Smoke is cold.
When I played with me, you know how like you gotta do some button mashing. What feels right? It felt right.
Yeah,
it felt right.
Mm-hmm.
I still like Lee May, but y'all did something.
Yeah,
y'all did something.
I definitely agree. What about you, Ralph? Have you even touched it yet? Because every time I see you playing Apex.
Man, listen.
He sure do. Talk with all that smack about Apex, but that's all he be on.
One day I'm going to wake up and Ralph's Discord thing is going to say playing Mortal Kombat 1. I don't know what day that's going to be.
Wish.
Honestly, I was going to get on it today because I think I'm catching carpal tunnel in my hand. But, that's another story. Yeah. Anyway, I have not.
What?
I have not touched Mortal Kombat yet, and I have seen a couple videos. People have already been coming up with crazy combos. I've watched the campaign a little bit. Everything's been looking good. It's your, standard fighting game, of course, but other than the early complaints that I had with them kind of dropping the ball on, not having Jade or, not including all of the kids as far as cameo characters, it's looked pretty good, I would say. It's a solid game.
Yeah. I played the campaign. I thought it was all right. I'll say this. I thought it was solid. Because if you look at if we're gonna go off our mob review scale, I thought it was solid.
Mm-hmm.
Invasions mode, I think will keep you busy for a while if you have like nothing else to do. I think the way that they've done it, I think could keep you busy for a while. And the fact that with as you progress through the mode, you get like upgrades, you get new skins, you get coins and things like that. I think it's definitely an upgrade from the crib. So I'll give them that. The towers, I really like the towers. But I like it. I like it. Like Ron said, it's a nice game. I will say this though. I did not expect to like Melina. But
you're a Melina player now.
I didn't think I was, but like the way the campaign went, the way her moveset is, it's nice. It's not. I think MK1 is going to surprise, or if it hasn't already, has surprised a lot of people with how they've kind of upgraded some of these characters in their moveset and allow you to play with people that you weren't expecting to like. So, like, you know, I played with Liu Kang in the beta, but I haven't even touched Liu Kang, like, main play. I haven't played with Liu Kang. Haven't even played with Li Mei, like, tower-wise. I've been playing with everybody else.
Because I remember
So,
off recording, you definitely was playing with Li Mei a lot.
But yeah, I was. But then that was off the beta. Like, that was the only character they gave in the beta. But once you get your hands on everybody, not saying that I don't like her moveset, but like everybody else's moveset, like they came with it this game.
Yeah, fighting games are interesting. Like, once you play enough of them, you do got to get a character that just feels right. Are you the type of person who likes to be all up on your enemy? Do you like to be at a distance? Do you like to sneak around, control the field a little bit? Like, when a character feels right to you, you just got to pick them.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, like the campaign did a really good job with allowing you to play with a lot of the characters. Now, some of them you don't get to play with just because of the way that the campaign goes, but they do give you a lot of playing room with at least majority of the characters. So
okay,
we here.
That's my quick little 1-2. Like I said, we're gonna do a full mob review on Mortal Kombat 1 featuring the whole group. So we're gonna save these thoughts right here, and I want to move on to the next thing regarding Mortal Kombat 1. That Switch port. That Switch port looks so awful. Let me say this. That junk looks awful. And the fact that y'all made those folks pay $70 for that is crazy. Now, me and Ryan went head to head. We went to bat
for about an hour off camera. That was a whole mob speaks.
We went to bat on Thursday when I put this on the topic list. But just to put a couple, I did a little research. So before everybody's like, why did NetherRealm put this out? I do want to say that the Switch port was developed by Shiver Entertainment, who was responsible for the MK11 port, and Saber Interactive. Ed Boon already came out and said there's going to be an update to MK1 on the Switch. So hopefully all of the bugs and all of the graphical inconsistencies that everybody saw is going to get fixed on this next update. My biggest thing regarding the Switch port is, why wasn't it pushed back? And that's what me and Ryan went to bat about.
It depends on who wanted it there.
It does. It depends on who wanted it. And Ryan's standpoint, he convinced me a little bit that we think it was Nintendo that made the push for Mortal Kombat 1 to be released on the Switch same day as Xbox and PS5. And the only reason I have an issue with that is because the way that Hogwarts Legacy was handled. Hogwarts Legacy on the Switch was supposed to been out, and they've delayed it to November 2023 for their second delay. Reason being is that Avalanche Studios, I think that's the correct name of the developers, they felt like
Portkey or something like that. I think
Portkey might be the publishers. Okay. But when I did my research into why Hogwarts Legacy was delayed, let me see if it comes up. Where is it? Or maybe I found it somewhere else. Let me see. Hogwarts Legacy is developed by Avalanche Software, a subsidiary of Warner Brothers Interactive Entertainment.
Okay.
So Portkey Games might be the publisher.
Okay, gotta get my knowledge together. Okay.
But I did look that up because we had talked about Portkey Games a lot, so I was just trying to make sure we had like the right people. We were stating the right people. But like they pushed back Hogwarts Legacy because they didn't feel like that. They wanted to give the best experience possible for people playing on Switch, and I just don't understand why that same care wasn't given to MK1.
Well, one, seems like NetherRealm wasn't developing it, which is interesting. Well, the port, which is interesting. I would like to understand why. Two, it depends on who was begging for it. Was NetherRealm and their publishers begging, like, we gotta let this release with PlayStation and Xbox? Or was Nintendo saying, y'all gotta keep us in the loop. Y'all can't leave us behind, Xbox and PlayStation? And when you get the answer to that question, you understand the intention.
Mm-hmm.
Mortal Kombat is a strong. Here's the argument I have for food. Mortal Kombat's a strong brand. They could definitely afford to delay it, and if a Nintendo only console owner wanted the game that bad, they were still going to get it. Mortal Kombat is a strong enough brand,
and that's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. That because Hogwarts Legacy got to get delayed twice.
Yeah.
Now the first time, because if that's why I kind of still feel like it wasn't Nintendo. Because I'm just looking at like the timeline of Hogwarts Legacy. Hogwarts Legacy came out in February. They sold 15 million copies and made like $1 billion. Top stream game on Twitch. All this commotion goes up about it. When their first initial release date, I believe, was either somewhere between April and July, was supposed to be their drop for the Switch. And then they turned around and say, hey, it's not ready yet. We're going to push it back to November. I feel like if Nintendo was really pushing and really wanted that money, I don't think they would have let them delay it twice. So that's the only standpoint I'm coming from, that maybe it was NetherRealm that was like, hey, we want all of this to drop on the same day. We want everybody to have their hands on Mortal Kombat September 19, 2023. But I could also see it the other way. And like Ron said, until that information comes out, it's really just speculation on who really was pressing the gas on getting the Switch port out on the release date looking the way that it did.
Also, taking that extra information you added, it was another developer who was over the ports.
But the only other thing is that one of the studios was responsible for the MK11 port. So this wasn't their first time touching Mortal Kombat.
True, but it's sometimes miscommunication and mismanagement. Who was putting the pressure? Was it NetherRealm's publishers putting the pressure on it? Was Nintendo putting the pressure saying, we really want this? Do they not have the best relationship with Nintendo? Does Nintendo feel some type of pressure on their end? Like, we don't really know what was going on behind the scenes, but for Mortal Kombat to look that bad,
exactly,
somebody effed up. Somebody effed up.
Definitely.
Somebody. There was a miscommunication in their pipeline somewhere.
Like, we don't know who did the F up, but somebody effed up.
Yeah.
And it begs the question. Folks got mad at us with Nintendo when we made our comments in the last video, but Nintendo also got to come with it. People having to dumb down their game so much to make it fit on y'all console, and y'all still want these third-party ports. It's disrespectful.
I feel like at this point they should stop doing ports. At this point,
until that new.
If y'all love y'all exclusives that much, prove to us that y'all can survive with just your exclusives. Do it, Nintendo.
At this point, stop doing ports unless they are previously released games like the Batman, the Metal Gear Solid,
Skyrim.
Right, unless it's previously developed games that can be easily reworked to fit on that console, stop. Because yes, we can point fingers at NetherRealm, we can point fingers at Shiver Entertainment, we can point fingers at Saber, we can point fingers at the publishers, the developers, but at the end of the day, it's a lot of people looking at Nintendo.
And it's gotten to the point where it's disrespectful. It's disrespectful. Games have went up in price, and we get
that right there is not a $70 game.
No, nowhere near.
If Sony's and Microsoft's and Steam's cost $70, and they got that, and I got this, and you're going to tell me, well, at least you can play it outside on the toilet or off your TV.
It don't matter.
It don't matter.
It don't. It for it to look like that. I would rather pause it on the PS5, go pee, and come back and unpause it.
The way that game
some
looked,
dude on Twitter was commenting on them.
The way that game looked in
Go ahead,
comparison was PlayStation 2, maybe PlayStation 1.
Yes,
it was awful.
Yes,
like that was terrible.
Yes, bro, it looked like freaking Mortal Kombat. Mortal Kombat. Which one was the one that came before 9? Armageddon. It looked like Armageddon almost.
Galvin said that junk looked like DC Universe versus Mortal Kombat.
It did. You know what's funny? I played that like a few years ago before I moved down here. Yes. Yes.
I think I'll say this. I appreciate Ed Boon for making the quick turnaround and saying that they're gonna send out an update, like really getting a handle on it and being like, hey, we're gonna fix this. But I honestly feel like this game shouldn't have went out looking how it looked. I think there were multiple people who saw this game. And it goes back to Ryan's thing. It was whoever was applying the pressure. And I think maybe when it came down to the wire, that so many people had pre-ordered this game, had already dropped the 70, that it might have been the pressure of that you have to release it. Like that people didn't already pay. Mm-hmm. I don't know. I think they would have got backlash either way if they were to say, hey, this game's not ready. I know you guys have pre-ordered it, but it's not dropping September 19th. I think they would have got some pushback, but I think that also would have saved, maybe gave them a little bit of some integrity to being honest with their consumers that this game is not ready for y'all. Yeah. They still would have got some pushback. They still would have gotten some negative reception on their end, but I think it would have been a better situation at the end than them putting this, promising people MK, and then the release trailers and everything looking how they looked, having everybody pay $70 and then for that game to turn out like it did.
Look, bro. I don't know. Maybe I'm just a Nintendo hater now. I feel bad for the developers because it makes them look bad. And when you hear from these developers and the work that they put into these games, and they already got to go through a lot. They already got to go through a lot of crunch. They already got to go through PC ports and fixing all the technologies that making the game to fit on a different graphics cards and everything else. Just for it to look like that on Nintendo, and y'all fresh new Mortal Kombat game dropped, and that's the headline.
Yeah,
look at how bad it looks on Nintendo. Like that's disrespectful. Like you committed all this effort.
Like it's overshadowing everything else. Like people are giving the Xbox, PS5, and PC version its props, but everything else has been that Nintendo Switch port.
Exactly. Like you search Mortal Kombat and you got a video, all the fatalities, folks fighting their friends and screaming and yelling, and then it's like, look at how bad Melina's mouth looks on Nintendo. Like it's a blemish. It's a big blemish.
Yeah.
Definitely. And then just going back to the fact, from our conversation from last week when Ryan had touched on the fact that people can't have multiple consoles. So for kind of like going forward is that if this Switch is the only thing that I have and I'm a Mortal Kombat fan, like this is a slap in the face. That I have to watch everybody else play this top tier game on PS5 and Xbox and everything works flawless for them, and I can't get that same experience on the Switch. It's a slap in the face, and the fact that we all paid the same price.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the thing, bro. Like someone commented on my tweet and they didn't realize how invalid the argument was. It was like some people just want to pay for the newest, shiniest thing, and that's not a big deal when it comes to Nintendo. If I'm paying the newest, shiniest price with my newest, shiniest green dollar, or rather bit code in my Wells Fargo or Chase bank account, I deserve a shiny game. I'm spending shiny money. The prices are still going up, but I'm getting a lesser product. That don't make no sense. I'm paying more for less.
I agree. If we are stepping back into the era where every new game that comes out at this point is going to be available on all 3 systems. This can't happen.
It got to be the same
No.
experience. The same experience.
Exactly. Or push it back. Or take the accountability and push it back. If you guys were going to have to contract this out to a different development studio anyway, maybe just save it for the back end. Have the main studio, make sure you guys get this PC, Xbox, and PS5 version out the way. So while everybody's eating that up, posting their videos, hosting their tournament, streaming it on Twitch, y'all get back to work and make sure that this Nintendo Switch port comes out the same way. That y'all keep up that hype. Like it's okay. It's okay, but just going back to Ryan's point, we don't know where the pressure was coming from. It had to be coming from somewhere though for them to, because I know they looked at it. I know they looked at it.
Someone played it.
Somebody
had
played
to check it.
Somebody saw it.
You can't tell me y'all ain't have some consoles sitting in like y'all general lobby area and didn't look at it. Y'all can't tell me that. So you can't tell me that. I don't
know where it's coming from. I don't know if we'll ever get the full story. Just with it still being like, this is still the fresh release. People are still playing it. The update hasn't came out yet. So I really don't know if we'll ever get the full story on what happened.
Exactly.
So it seemed like this is developing into like a cyberpunk kind of, start for the Switch port.
It would, the nail in the coffin, if we want to go the cyberpunk route, the nail in the coffin will be if Nintendo gives people refunds for this game.
I feel like if you can't sell what you marketed, if y'all did not say that this Nintendo variation of the game wasn't going to be lower tier, and y'all, we seen all these commercials of the good graphics, and y'all having the bottom left-hand corner played on PS5 or Xbox Series X footage, and y'all made us think that that's what's going to be on Switch, you owe us a refund. That's bad marketing. Market with the truth. Stop lying. We get mad at everybody else.
I would agree.
We get mad at Nintendo.
I would agree. I would also say that maybe that should have been part. I think I find it weird that it wasn't part of any of their directs.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah, that's a good point.
You reading into it. Ooh.
So like I'm just looking at it like we saw Mortal Kombat at like PlayStation State of Play. I don't remember seeing it at any Xbox things, but they were showing MK1 a lot at a lot of these game showcases. And then I don't know.
Nintendo announced when Batman came to their console, y'all ain't want to talk about the top, probably one of the best fighting games of the year currently.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't know if Nintendo was like, oh, they've seen Mortal Kombat so many times, we want to focus on something else inside of our Nintendo Direct. That's fine. That's cool. But I do just find it a little bit weird. Like, you didn't have to give it like 14 minutes like you did Super Mario Wonder, but like maybe just a little bit of gameplay of what people should expect on your console when it comes to this game would have went a long way for people who pre-ordered this game on your system. And that could go into the controversy of why it looked like it did. They probably saw it and was like, nah, we not putting this in the direct.
We're not going to talk about this.
All I'm Exactly. All I can say is you can tell when a developer and a publisher are in sync and proud of their product. One of the most recent examples would probably be Final Fantasy 16. They had every trailer. They had every deep dive. Every developer was in that team was sitting down on YouTube or whatever their platform of choice was, talking about how excited they were for the game.
I would also say this though. I will wait. We still got a couple months out. I would be surprised to see that when the Hogwarts Legacy Switch port is out, does Nintendo give them a spotlight on a direct? Now, if they don't, then the assumption can be that Nintendo just doesn't do that. But if they do, then it's kind of like, okay, so why didn't you guys do that for Mortal Kombat 1?
Right.
So I'm interested.
That's my dream gaming universe.
I think that would be the best bet if they ever have discussions about putting Mario, Smash Bros, Pokemon, depending on which Pokemon, any of the 2D Marios, Mario Kart, if they ever have a conversation,